For many, mold making can seem a bit intimidating. Molds are used when you wish to create copies of an original item or make a reproduction of what you have made. This step-by-step, how-to explanation will provide you all you need to know and to demonstrate just how easy it is to create molds that reproduce just about anything. And it is fun too. There are two basic mold types, a blanket mold and a block mold. A block mold is the simplest form of mold. It is a one-part poured mold, a very versatile mold-making method as it can be used to reproduce figurines, small statues, and uncomplicated models. In our demonstration, we have chosen to reproduce a simple baby's hand that we cast earlier using alginate impression material and reproduced in casting plaster. With such a block mold, you can make numerous copies of your model using casting plaster, such as CastRite casting stone or a two-part polyurethane resin, such as KastEZ Resin. For this project, you'll need about 30 minutes of preparation, then several hours for the mold to cure before you can demold. The materials and tools required are minimal, so let's get started. These are the materials you will require. 1 pint of 2-part RTV silicone. We are using MoldRite 25 silicone from EnvironMolds, a box cutter or X-Acto knife, craft sticks, a hot glue gun, several 16-ounce plastic cups, and a gram scale. Of course, you need a model to copy. In this demonstration, it is our baby's hand casting, which was cast in resin. Using your knife, remove the top portion of the cup and discard it as we don't need such a deep container. This allows the mold maker easier access to the inside of the cup so that the model can be placed on the bottom. The little hand is centered and glued on the bottom of the cup. You should have at least 1 inch of space all around your model to give it adequate support once demolded. The silicone is then measured out prior to mixing. Therefore, a gram scale is required as silicone is measured by weight rather than by volume. Since we are using a silicone with a 10-to-1 mix ratio, we weigh out 10 parts of part A using our gram scale. You can estimate the amount of part A just by knowing you need enough to cover the highest part of your model by at least 1 inch. In this case, the precise weight being 285 grams of part A. We need to weigh out 10% of the part A amount for part B. Therefore, we will weigh out 28.5 grams of part B in a separate clean cup. When portioned out, both components are combined in a third cup. Mix the two components thoroughly, scraping the sides and the bottom. You know you have mixed long enough when the material is an even shade of blue throughout, without any marbling or streaking. Mixing takes about 1 minute. If you don't use a vacuum chamber to de-air, then pour a high, narrow stream of silicone rubber while pouring it in a fixed position to allow the liquid silicone to envelop the model, which helps to remove any trapped surface air. This method minimizes air bubbles, as air can escape from the narrow stream during the pouring process. Stop the pouring when you cover the top of the model with at least 1 inch of silicone. The silicone will cure enough to demold in about 2 hours. But first, test for firmness with a craft stick. The surface should be firm and not sticky. If it is, wait a bit longer before attempting to remove the model from the cured rubber. Simply slit the side of the cup to slide out the finished mold. Then, using a sharp knife, cut a sawtooth pattern in one side of the mold to remove the model. The sawtooth pattern allows the mold to register when it is closed for the casting step. Spread the halves of the mold and slowly extract the model, using a back and forth rocking motion. Your mold is now ready to be cast. Clean it out and close it up using a rubber band to hold it shut. Mix the casting material according to the label directions and pour it into your mold. Leave it undisturbed while the casting material sets. When cured, remove the rubber band, open the mold, and carefully remove your new casting. it may be necessary to clean it up. Use some sandpaper to remove any flashing or rough edges. That is really all there is to making a one-piece block mold. The materials described here are available at better art stores everywhere. So go out and give it a try. Happy mold making!